problem and mine too. And there are tons of fat burners available in our pharmacies also and all around. But please avoid those, because here's a recipe for that's a natural fat burner, right?
Simple,
natural,
and healthy.
Okay, super. Please show us.
So all you need to do here is take equal amounts, and we've measured equal amounts of chia seeds, cinnamon powder, and ginger powder, your dried ginger powder. Give it a good mix.
That's easy.
And store it in an airtight container. Now, apart from your regular diet, what you also need to do is take 1 teaspoon, 1 level teaspoon of this immediately after your breakfast, immediately after your lunch, and immediately after your dinner.
And people with diabetes or whoever.
Yes, this will work for people who are obese, with diabetes, with other underlying conditions like a hypothyroid, or for example, someone with hypertension. It will help all of them too, and constipation too.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
In this digital age, everyone suffers with insomnia. I suffer as well. So Charmaine has this amazing natural remedy that can actually help you get that restful night's sleep. So Charmaine, all yours.
Thank you, Upasana. Very often we come across people who can fall asleep at the drop of a hat. They just put their heads to the pillow and they're snoring in 3 seconds. And yet there are so many of us who suffer from insomnia, are unable to sleep night after night. We get restless, we get anxious. Now, what is the one thing that you can do from your kitchen to help you get a good night's sleep? Simple remedy. A couple of hours before you actually want to go to sleep, and I would say 2 hours, what you would do is you would take a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg powder, about 10 strands of kesar, 2 teaspoons. Initially, you will use 2 teaspoons of khaskhas or poppy seeds, and a couple of black raisins. So let's say that you want to sleep by 11 p.m., fairly good time. You take this and you will make this concoction by about 4 in the afternoon, because it needs to be there in the concoction needs to be made and be soaking for at least 2 hours. Soak it in a little bit of milk. You can also use water if you're lactose intolerant, or you can use almond milk. Stir it well and keep it aside for a few hours. Now, if you're out, you can even keep it in your refrigerator, and 3 hours before you actually want to go off to sleep, and I normally say before dinner, you drink this decoction. Or if it has soaked sufficiently well, it will have absorbed all the milk or the water, whatever you've used to make the decoction, and then you will spoon it and you will chew it well and you will eat it. After that, you have your dinner, continue with the rest of your activities, put your phone off on silent because there's too much of internet activity and then you're going to not get that good sleep, and go off to sleep. You will definitely be blessed with a good night's sleep. Water is the most important nutrient in the human body. 70% of your body weight is made up of water. Now, how do you know water is an important nutrient? Every reaction that happens in your system, whether it's the formation of hormones or digestion, assimilation, etc., has to take place in the presence of water. How about changing to a therapeutic water? Simply adding basic ingredients to the bottle of water, letting it infuse for about an hour, and then drink this water. If you are like me, constantly trying to put in thousands of things in 24 hours, you're definitely going to be sapped of energy at the end of a day. Now, what if you had an energy boosting oil which would help you to pack your day and not get tired at the end of it? Simple thing, you take sesame oil, you take about 500 ml of sesame oil, take 2 star anise or badiyan or chakri phool, you can break it into bits. You take about 10 grams of ginger, and half of a small chopped onion. And my chopping skills definitely need to improve. I have a husband who can have a competition with a local bhelwala and chop so quickly with his eyes closed. So anyway, you put all of this into the bottle and leave it aside for 2 weeks. Now what you've got is an energy boosting or an energy enhancing oil that you can use to drizzle over your salads, to use in your dals, etc., and get that booster that you so require. So let's look at the first in our series of therapeutic waters, a basic celery water. Now what exactly can you use the celery water for? You use the celery water to bring down your blood pressures if you're hypertensive. And the reason I'm repeating it is that you shouldn't be using this therapy if you have low blood pressure. If you want to get rid of edema, if you want to get rid of water retention, use celery water. Like I said before, you need to be using this water till 7 p.m. because the efficacy of action is till 7 p.m. and most importantly, beyond 7 p.m. if you continue drinking this water, the diuretic effect will go on through the night and you'll be using the washroom through the night. What do you do to make the celery water? Like you've seen me do, you take 2 stalks of celery and you simply put them into a 1 liter or a 2 liter bottle of water depending on the size of your water bottle. Cut the celery into a few bits, put it into your bottle, cover your bottle, and an hour later your therapeutic water is ready to bring down your hypertension, to get rid of water retention, etc. What do you do with the stalks? They're loaded with calcium. So just as you use kothmir or coriander leaves to garnish food or to enhance the taste of the food, you can chop this finely after washing it, of course, and use it in your recipes. Don't throw this out, but don't add it to your therapeutic water. So a night of binge drinking is definitely going to bring on a hangover the next morning. If you want to hide that hangover from your mom, what will you do? You'll use an apple, you'll use some grated ginger, and you'll use your water. Your mom is going to be very impressed that you're eating the apple because she's forever been telling you that fruit is essential and you should be eating it every morning. So to impress her, what you're going to do is use a chopped apple. A couple of slices will do. Please try and eat the rest of the apple. Put the apple into your bottle. Use a few juliennes of ginger, or you can grate the ginger. Put this in a liter or 2 of water. Allow it to infuse for half an hour, or maybe you could, when you came back from your binge drinking, or get this organized, have your staff keep it for you at your bedside, and in the morning, before the attacks of nausea, before your sensitivity to light, before the whole thing of getting the headaches, etc. comes on, you can start drinking this water. Continue drinking this water through the day. Hydrate yourself with the therapeutic benefits of the apple and the ginger, and you will realize that you do not get a hangover. Now by this, we're not advocating that you continue binge drinking. Drink moderately, drink responsibly, but use the apple and the ginger in your water to prevent that hangover. So calcium is a mineral that is very essential for the human body. Calcium is required for strong teeth and healthy bones. Calcium is also required for nerve impulses, for muscle contraction, etc. in the body. It means that you are eating sufficient amounts of calcium, but it is not getting broken down in your system and assimilated. In order to make the calcium work for you, and mind you, you need 1,000 to 1,400 milligrams of calcium per day, you need to be doing things to enhance calcium absorption. As we age, our ability to absorb calcium decreases, and a lot of that dietary calcium is excreted out in the urine. So today what we are going to do is a simple thing of saunf pani or fennel seed water to enhance calcium absorption. You take a bottle with an infuser, add some fennel into it. You could use up to a tablespoon. Close the bottle and simply add water into the bottle. That's it. If you don't have an infusion bottle, you could use one of your tea strainers. You could even use a small potli, a muslin cloth bag which has soft in it, and put that into the bottle. Now when you drink, let it infuse for an hour and start drinking that water. Now when you drink this infused water, what is going to happen is that the dietary calcium, the calcium that is coming in from the food, is going to be absorbed and assimilated. So what you're technically doing is you're making the dietary calcium work for your body. We're now going to talk about colic. Nearly 30% of newborn babies suffer from a colicky condition. It's heart-wrenching for a new mom and all those relatives around the baby to hear the baby sob and howl loudly, but not know what is happening in the system. Now, when a colicky baby cries, it's because there is a lot of gas entrapped in the child's intestine. What you can do as a mother, as you're breastfeeding your baby, is soothe or calm the baby by tapping the baby and preventing the aerophagia from setting in, preventing the baby from ingesting too much of gas as he or she hurriedly suckles at your breast. The other thing that you can do is bring up the bubble, which means that after you've breastfed your baby, you put the baby onto your shoulder and you keep on gently massaging the baby's back and hear the baby burp. The other thing that you can do, or the third thing that you can do, is take a simple bay leaf, heat the leaf. Do not make it too hot, otherwise it will scald the baby's gentle or sensitive skin. You heat the bay leaf in a pan or a tawa. You smear a drop of cow's ghee on one side of the leaf, and then you apply that smeared side onto the navel of the baby. Then you can wrap your infant in the normal way and allow the baby to rest with the tejpata or the bay leaf on his or her navel. Now, after a period of time, and you're doing this regularly, 3 p.m., 5 p.m., try doing it an hour before the baby starts howling, because children normally have a pattern. So by 5:30, if your baby is going to start howling and you know that happens daily, then start doing it by 4:30. Apply this and leave it on. You can leave it on for as long as possible, and you will realize that after some time, that colic condition gets cured. A very interesting health remedy for dysmenorrhea or menstrual cramps. A lot of women, especially young girls, suffer from debilitating menstrual cramps that could start right from the ovulation period, going up to the day 1 or day 2 or maybe even day 3 of their menstrual cycle. Now what I suggest is coriander seeds. So you dry roast 4 tablespoons, 3 and 4 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 10 black peppercorns, okay, a tablespoon of dried ginger powder, a tablespoon of white sesame seeds, and 3 teaspoons of fennel or saunf. 3 tablespoons of fennel or saunf. You dry roast this, make a fine powder and keep it in an airtight container. Now when you know that your cramps have started, or a little before that, you take 1 teaspoon of this 3 times a day, and you will realize how smoothly your period comes and goes without the debilitating pain of the period cramps. A fever is an indication or a symptom of something that is happening within your system, wherein your body is fighting some kind of infection. If it is a young baby or a young child, we recommend that the temperature, when you're monitoring the temperature, to never allow the temperature to go beyond 101 degrees. Immediately, the minute the fever starts rising, you need to do a tepid water sponging, or simply take your baby and put your baby very gently in a tub of cold water to bring down the temperature. Now what you can do to bring your fever down is take 20 basil leaves. You can use holy basil, that's tulsi, or you can use the regular basil, 20 basil leaves and 2 cloves. Put this in a bowl with 1 liter of water and allow this to simmer and be reduced to 500 ml. So if you've taken a liter of water, heat it up, bring it to a boil and allow it to reduce to 500 ml. Then cool that water and start drinking that water sips at a time for the next 2 or 3 hours. You will realize that gradually your body temperature comes down. Hyperacidity. We've all suffered from the burn at some time or the other. A burning sensation that starts probably from the pit of your stomach, going up to your gastrointestinal tract into your esophagus. Occasionally, you feel that you're having a heart attack. There are times when it doesn't symptomize as a burn, but it gives you a soreness of your throat, and you try all the antibiotics possible and your sore throat doesn't get healed. That is because it's not a sore throat, but it's a condition of hyperacidity. How will you get rid of this hyperacidity? It's a very simple home remedy. You take 15 black raisins called manuka and put them in a bowl, pour water into them and soak them overnight. Now when you soak them overnight, they soften and the healing properties get enhanced. The next morning, you pick out 5 of these. Let them stay in the bowl of water. You don't need to drink the water. You just pick up 5 of these black raisins and have them on an empty stomach before you start your day, before you start eating or drinking anything. Then leave the others in the water, or if you're traveling or if you're going to work, you can just carry the remainder of the black raisins, the soaked black raisins, in a little pouch or box. This will help you get rid of the acidity. You wake up in the morning and you rush to the washroom and you have a good bowel movement, and then you can take on the day. But what happens when you're constipated? What happens when you have hard stools or are unable to pass for a couple of days? Then we have a simple health remedy from your kitchen which you can use on a daily basis to increase the efficacy of your bowel movement as well as increase the softness of your bowel movement. You take equal amounts of coriander powder, mix it with flax powder, and add mint powder to it. Since these are already in powder form, you mix it thoroughly. If you've got mint as leaves, grind them, or you can grind all this once more and keep it in an airtight container. Every day you need to take 1 teaspoon of this on rising, 1 teaspoon immediately after lunch, and 1 teaspoon after dinner. Now this will help you to clear every morning and also help you to avoid all those gassy discharges, flatulence, as well as the headaches that come with constipation. If you're doing this, you also need to remember to increase your water intake and have a lot of fiber-rich foods. To prevent anxiety and depression from setting in, to prevent those Monday morning blues, postpartum depression, etc., you can use 500 ml of white vinegar, which you've heated, and just simply pour it into a bowl which has about 20 strands of kesar and 20 green elaichi. Pour the vinegar very gently into the bowl. Cover it with a lid and let it steep and infuse for about 2 weeks. Now once this is ready, you can strain it if you do not want a very strong flavor, or you can let the elaichi be inside so that it gets stronger and stronger each time you're using it. A teaspoon of this consumed 4 to 5 times a day, especially when you're feeling anxious or depressed or lonely or feeling deflated, is something that will help you quickly bounce back and feel happy again. So having come up with hundreds and thousands of different recipes of different spice combinations for the various health conditions, in 2013 I wrote a book called Kitchen Clinic, which has been published by Random House. And out there you have therapies for all the various health conditions that you may be suffering from. It could be something as simple as jet lag, or a hangover. It could be what do you do for a colicky baby. So as a qualified health practitioner, and having devised and come up with hundreds and thousands of different recipes of different spice and herb combinations, I decided to write a book because not everybody could do a personal consultation with me. So small combinations of herbs and spices, therapeutic waters, etc. are all in this book, and you can use it as a guide to take you forward onto your journey of good health.
So Charmaine has this fabulous book that has all the secrets in it. It's called Kitchen Clinic because all the things that you need to heal are in your kitchen. So go, it's available on Amazon?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay. Now what you can do is read carefully, follow the tips, and stay blessed with good health always.
Thank you, Charmaine. Thank
Most
you.
welcome.